So I'm going to show a particular example here with the risk management and business strategy. And this one is actually a blast furnace in the Boss plant, sorry, where basically this particular part, they're charging up scrap. They pour in bales of scrap, and the best way to explain that is where they crush cars. And when you see the big block of metal, so that's 1.5 ton of a vehicle. So there's roughly 1,000 ton in that particular vessel there. And what they'll do is basically put this bales of scrap into the vessel, and then they will put 1,000 ton of molten iron into it to mix it all together to make a lovely product called steel. And it's all this chemistry goes on. So, you know, if you look at that profile, it's quite aggressive, quite a high risk environment. And what you can see there, where they put in that controlled product in, if you look to the far right, there's another vessel, because they do a continuous process of making steel. It's 24 hours a day. It never stops. It's 365 days a year. And because of wear and tear, that vessel, if you think of that metal going in and hitting and making impact on the refractory, there's fractures. So over a period of time, it needs a total reline to actually get it back up and running. Because to take that offline, it costs a lot of money. And because of the business risk, because of they work on very, very tight margins, what they'll do is work on a profile on the other vessel. They want to work on the other vessel while the other one goes down. But because of that, we've got people who actually work in that environment when all these activities go on. So this is where I was brought in to risk profile it and work with the management team from the actual production team, and then to actually the maintenance team to actually reline that vessel. So what we actually looked at is how we manage that risk, which is a tolerable if as low as reasonably practicable risk. And basically what we did was then we looked at timings. So we knew it'll take 45 minutes to charge up, and then the blast doors when they close. So we can actually have the teams then, basically it took all in all an hour and a half. So those individuals could work on the blank vessel an hour and a half without any risk movement of gantries and any profile of the production aspects going on. And then the Claxton would go, and then the teams would then go to the safe haven, which is roughly 25 meters away, and then they would charge up, and while that process is going on, the teams would actually carry on doing the relining. Now, in normal process, if the actual vessel went down, that would have taken roughly 3 weeks to get it completed, up and running. Because of going through the risk profile and doing it correctly and safely and managing it in an effective manner, we actually anticipated the risk would be taking 3 months. And that's an acceptable risk because time, cost and effort comes into it, where they were still producing on a slow pace process, so the casters would actually slow their manufacturing process down as well. And actually by doing it, it showed there was cost benefits as well. And we had 0 accidents. It was a successful project. It was well governed. We all had agreement at the senior executive level to actually show that if there was a safety aspect, that we would then prolong the safe haven because of if the crane went down during an actual pour. So all these things with contingency risk assessments gone into it as well. So it was an exciting, challenging project, quite high risk, quite exciting, but it's one of these, it takes time. And that's where the important aspect is a risk assessment. You need to research it, look at the profile it, and how effective is it with the communication aspects as well. So that's just one example there.